shed innocent blood. What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Listen, asshole!
Did you know I'm utterly insane?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you. You never paid any attention. Look what you did to him. Look what you did to him. What have you done to it? What have you done to its eyes? What have you done to him, you maniac?
Don't you blame the movies? Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Texas Chainsaw, Dawn of the Dead, The Hills Have Eyes, Amityville Horror, Last House on the Left, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, My Bloody Valentine, When a Stranger Calls, Prom Night, Black Christmas, House of Wax, The Fog, Piranha. It's one of those, right?
Hi, I'm Charles.
And I'm Christopher.
And this is the first episode of Dirty Little Horror, the show that works in my accent,
but not mine.
Yay, we're here.
Yay! Just to clarify the accent thing, if I say it, it just comes out Dirty Little Horror, and that's not a pun at all.
It doesn't sound like a rude thing at all.
Anyway, we are a podcast. Well, we're not yet. We're just recording shit.
It took 35 minutes to set this up.
Yes, it did. So let's hope it was worth it. We're going to talk about horror movies.
Oh, wait. Have you decided how you died this week?
Oh.
Each week, we are going to die in a different way. So, Christopher, this week, how have you died?
I was in a haunted house, and I was wrapped up in the carpet, the hallway carpet. I was raveled up in it so I couldn't escape, and then thrown in the furnace in the basement.
Oh.
The last thing you saw of me was a puff of smoke out the chimney.
Sooty.
How did you die?
Blood farts.
Oh, is that how this is going to be, is it? Okay. So I'm going to spend time coming up with a narrative about how I died so it works and sounds a little bit tragic, and you're just going to put two gross things together?
No, not always.
Not always?
I have some things in mind.
Oh, I can't wait.
But the first one, blood farts.
Blood farts.
Blood farts. So,
I had one of those once. It's no joke.
Did you?
No.
Oh, my God. You just scared me a lot.
So anyway, the point of this show is, we want to talk about horror movies and...
Gayness. We
are both homosexuals. Sorry to break it to you.
You're not missing much.
No, not at all. Nothing at all. So yeah, we're talking about horror movies, but it'll mostly end up by way of dick jokes, which is why the tagline of this whole podcast is spooky dick jokes.
That's right. And the first time we are doing this, we decided to start off with a classic.
Yes, a classic that also we happen to have both never seen.
Never seen it.
And that movie is The Exorcist. Nope. That was meant to be Tubular Bells, and I got it wrong from the get go.
I'm not sure what that was.
It was a little bit the Batman theme. Exorcist.
It's close.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm not sure. That was very special. I appreciate. That wasn't even a remix.
No, and I think I'm going to do that every week now too. I'm going to recreate the theme song from whatever horror movie we're watching.
But not every horror movie has a theme song.
Yeah, so the time we do like Silent Hill, whatever, I'll just clang some saucepans together. It'll be the same thing.
It's fair.
Yeah.
No, I have the soundtracks for the video games on my phone. Those are good though.
No.
Yeah, they are.
No.
Have you listened to a soundtrack of Silent Hill?
Each one has like 2 songs that are listenable, and the rest is just like kicking Cutler down the stairs. It just clanks and whirs and squeals.
I think it was during Silent Hill 2 where there's like a music box that you have to fiddle with, and like the theme from that music box was like Moonlight Sonata or something.
Ooh.
Wait, is that Resident Evil 2 or Silent Hill 2? No, I don't remember.
We haven't even gotten into the actual movie yet, and we're already off topic.
Yep.
Like, we set up what this podcast is about, and we're already not talking about that. So we're doing really well so far.
I'm trying to type and not make it hit the microphone.
Why are you typing?
Because I'm making notes about what we're talking about.
Make them on your telephone, on your non-clicky device.
Okay, so we watched The Exorcist for the first time, and it might be controversial, but I don't think it was very good.
Yeah, I am fully aware that it is a movie that probably would have been better off being watched when it first came out in
1970.
Hey Siri, when did The Exorcist first hit cinemas?
I don't see any movies matching The Exorcist at cinemas matching hit.
Wow, that was shady.
Okay. Hey Siri, when was The Exorcist released? Jesus.
Exorcist, The Beginning was released the 20th of August 2004.
That's the wrong one.
Oh, really? The Rennie Harlan directed one starring Stellan Skarsgård? Okay, because I'm just going to do this manually.
Wait, is that there's another one? I thought there were only 3. They did a reboot or a prequel, I guess?
1973. All right, I probably could have looked that up before we started recording. But anyway, I feel like The Exorcist would have benefited from watching it in 1973. I'm sure it was groundbreaking and terrifying and all those things.
If you think about when it was filmed, technically, like, the things that they were able to do special effects wise were impressive for the time.
Yes. But yes, I'm watching it through 2018 30-something-year-old eyes who's seen a lot of horror films. And yeah, it didn't grab me. I can see how it's a well-made film, but as a horror film,
I thought that a lot of the shots were beautiful. I thought that it was visually nice to watch.
Agreed.
I don't think that the pacing on it was I think that it was, since it was one of the few horror movies that was nominated, I think, like I said when we were watching it, it's because it doesn't start off like a traditional horror movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't start off scary.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get scary for quite some time.
So you can spend a lot of time, if you were, say, an Academy Award nomination person, spend a lot of time appreciating the filmmaking aspect of it.
Well, like I said, I don't think that it was a bad movie. And if I'm looking at it through 1973 eyes, then yeah, it was probably terrifying.
Yes. Also, I think incredibly risky from 1973 standards, like how blasphemous it was.
Yeah. Well, I was reading some of the trivia about it, and I forget what director afterwards tried to shoot at the same college that they shot some of the scenes at.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't give them permission, and they were like, well, you gave the Exorcist permission to film here, and they're like, yeah, but the devil doesn't win. And I guess in his movie, evil won out. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how it worked out. And also, the ending was kind of, anticlimactic, I think.
Yes.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes. So the film starts, surprisingly, in northern Iraq, which I did not see coming.
No.
So twist right from the first 17 seconds of the film. Like, what?
I mean, after watching A Quiet Place last week, we're really stuck between Iraq and A Quiet Place.
Yeah, okay. You're on a timeout.
And no one can see the face I'm making. I'm making imagine when Hades from Hercules makes a joke and he just goes, huh? No? That's the face I'm making.
Yeah. All right, so we're in northern Iraq, and it looks suspiciously like one of the early scenes of Jurassic Park, but
they filmed it in Iraq, which is interesting. They
really
actually went there and shot it, yeah.
Is this wait, I haven't looked at any of the trivia, so you're going to hit me with trivia all the way through?
Yes, I am, because that's
amazing.
As I watch movies, I have to look up the trivia on IMDb. I just have to read it.
I do it on the way home.
No, I have, if I'm in a theater,
yeah,
afterwards.
Yeah.
If I'm watching it in my home or in your home, I will be reading it during the movie.
Oh, I'm excited.
Because they always put spoilers at the bottom, and there's a warning. Don't go below this, and I won't go below that.
Okay.
Before we get to the end of the movie, at least.
So you're a professional.
Yep.
So, yes, in Iraq, digging around at a dig site, there is one point where I'm assuming there's going to be a jump scare, but there isn't, because there's just a shot of a hand digging around inside a hole.
I really thought that axe was going to get grabbed or something, because I'm just trained by horror movies to expect those things.
Yeah. This is what happens when you watch a horror movie made in 1973.
So you also took notes during the movie that I didn't take, so who's the professional now?
Me. I think right from early on, there's a point 5 minutes in where the father, what is it?
Catholic the Son priest? Or the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, the father is in a room and the guy he's with says evil against evil, and then suddenly the clock on the wall stops. That would be my cue to be like, oh, fuck, no.
I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, but no, they're both just like, yeah, that's chill, that's cool. Nothing wrong with the clock stopping just the second after you refer to evil.
Yeah, it just ran out of batteries.
There's one of the things in this film, and I think, again, it's a 1973 thing, is filled with moments where any sane person would be like, oh, nope. Yeah, I'm going to bounce.
I mean, any horror movie's full of those, but this one was a little bit more obvious. But I think it's because you're dealing with the supernatural, which is always in supernatural horror movies, it takes people much longer to understand what's happening.
I guess.
It's not like, oh my God, I walked in on a body. It's, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
I do think that a number of times I've been sitting in an apartment by myself and I've heard strange noises and I've just sat there and thought, that's a strange noise. And then done nothing. And then after a while gone, what if that's the point where I should have gotten up and called the police, looked out the window, or just run? What if I get murdered now because I heard a strange noise, and just like dumb people in movies went, wonder what that was. Must be nothing.
But you didn't get up to investigate it, so...
No.
That's how you say it.
Which also gets yourself killed. Yep. Yeah, true.
I think that putting the little... Oh, God, now I'm forgetting her name.
Reagan?
Yeah. But like
Linda Blair?
Wow. Linda Blair. I'm not sure how old she was when she filmed it, but the character is 12, and just putting like a child actor through that much physical trauma is odd. I'm not sure how they got away with that.
Yeah, that part of the film, even by today's standards, was a lot. Like, that was intense.
Yeah.
Like, how banged up her face was, how much she had to do and perform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, her face makeup, I've never thought, even seeing in stills before this, I never thought was that great or scary. I was just like, oh, it's a little girl with some shit caked on her face. But I wish that a lot more horror movies these days did what they did effects-wise, which is not relying on computers as much.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that it was all done practically.
Yeah.
Like, you had to figure out how to do it if you wanted that effect. But I'm also... Maybe it's because I'm not religious, and maybe because I'm just desensitized by other horror movies, but I wasn't shocked, scandalized, or really scared at all.
No. I got a little bit of a... There's a point towards later in the film where one of the many male characters in the film,
my God,
indistinguishable middle-aged men. There's like 7 of them.
Like, I could not keep any of these old white men straight. Like, they all have the same face and facial hair.
But the guy who...
It's like Ryan Murphy made The Exorcist.
The guy who was the priest, but also a boxer and also a psychiatrist, apparently.
And an alcoholic.
It's when he goes into the bedroom and instead of Reagan, his dead mother is sitting there. That moment I got a little bit of a... that was unexpected.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't
not a fright, but just a like, ooh.
A lot of the imagery is iconic, but like some of the shots I was just like, oh, that's just a really cool shot.
Yes.
I'm not scared, but it's really visually, I just like looking at it. Like close to the end of the movie when, spoilers, by the way, I mean, I know that I hadn't seen it until today.
Yeah. Turn away now. We'll just give you a quick rundown of the film now. If you don't want to be spoiled, turn off now. A girl is possessed and then she's exorcised, and then several people die.
Period. End of story. No, it was several. Like, what, 3?
2. No, there were 3. There's the old dude who apparently fell down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then
she pushed out the window.
That one. Then there's the old priest who just died.
He wasn't in it for that long. He was the guy in the beginning of the movie, right?
In Iraq.
Yeah. But he walked in and was like, fuck him. He's like, let's get this done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to do a job. Let's do it.
Yeah, he's the one who wants to get stuff done. The main guy of the indistinguishable old white man in the film, he's like a complete wuss. Like, he was the one who was like, let's do an exorcism. Have you considered exorcism? I don't believe she is possessed, even though I've now seen the bed shake.
So much evidence.
A drawer move of its own accord, and a 12-year-old girl covered in lacerations with orange eyes and a voice like this. I'm still not convinced, but let's try an exorcism. And then suddenly, he goes to water.
Goes to what?
Goes to water.
I couldn't say if you were saying goes to water or going toward her.
Ah. This will be also a feature of this podcast, is me explaining Australian things. Or just things in my accent. Go to water.
Okay.
As in...
Not toward her.
Not toward her.
Okay.
Go to water, as in become spineless. Suddenly be afraid.
Okay. That's...
Not a thing?
Not one that I've ever heard.
All right. Let's try and break down all the men in this film. Because you've got Chris, Reagan's mother, Reagan...
Mm-hmm. Those are not men in the film.
No, I'm just those two. And then there's the assistant person.
Oh, like Sharon.
Sharon.
Okay.
And then all the men. Old man in Iraq.
Father Marin.
I
have IMDb up for this.
The father / boxer / psychiatrist / alcoholic.
Father Karras.
Right. The guy with the little mustache who maybe was another priest, but maybe also was some kind of criminal investigator.
Okay, there's Dr. Klein, Dr. Behringer, Dr. Tanny, someone who's just billed as psychiatrist.
Oh yeah, all those doctors.
And Carl.
Yes.
Also Lieutenant William Kinderman. Oh, that's mustache guy.
Yeah.
Lieutenant William Kinderman.
So he was a policeman. So we've got 2 priests, a policeman.
Countless doctors.
Countless doctors.
Wait, no, three priests, because there's Father Dyer as well.
So 3 priests, 1 policeman.
He was friends with the mom. He was friends with Chris, I guess.
Oh.
I don't know.
Is that the one at the very beginning of the movie? Reagan was like, you like him?
Maybe?
Sure.
I can't keep anyone straight. And then there was like the director of the film and the drunk guy at the party.
Is this what it's like just to be... Like, I wouldn't claim to know, but is this what it's like to be just a woman in the world at any given time? Just besieged by countless indistinguishable men yelling things at you and telling you what you should do and not really listening to you.
I felt like I just had like that facial blindness where I'm like, I can't. Are you the same person? You could like. There's so many characters in this movie.
Yeah.
That you could really just compile them into less people, and it would be more easy to understand.
Yeah. By the way, the two main actresses in it are spectacular.
No, yeah, Linda Blair. Like again, I don't know why she didn't get more work than like what she's been given. I get that she's like a scream queen, obviously. Like she is in so many horror movies, which is great, but I don't feel like, even as a child actress, I don't feel like she was really... She was in S Club 7 in LA?
All right, there's a tangent.
She played someone called Joni Witherspoon. I watched that show. How do I not know that?
It was a show?
S Club 7 in LA?
It's a show.
Yeah, there was S Club 7 in Miami, and then they moved to LA. And then the show ended because one of the boys left. And there was S Club in LA.
Oh my
For like
God.
2 or 3 episodes.
No.
Yeah. She was in that? Whatever.
All right, we've lost Charles for the rest of the episode now because he's excited about
S Club 7.
Linda Blair and S Club 7 in LA.
I'm going to be...
Ellen Burstyn obviously wasn't wanting for work, so she got gainful employment after The Exorcist.
Yeah, but after that, she did like Airport 1975, like a shitload of TV movies, The Exorcist 2, and then a bunch of shit that I've never heard of, and then horror movies.
The only thing I saw her in until tonight was Scream, where she has 2 lines as a reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew who she was. Like,
Oh my God! How have we gone this far and not yet talked about the actual murderer in the film?
I was waiting to get there, but we can talk about it now.
Well, we've kind of jumped around a little bit, so...
We jumped around a lot.
Yeah.
This whole first episode.
Subsequent episodes will have more of a structure. We're just finding our way at the moment.
Once we listen back and figure out what's good and
How horrible we are.
it is.
Yeah. This might be edited to the shithouse. So the last half of this sentence might actually be 20 minutes apart from the first half of this sentence. So this is scarier than the film itself. Little tidbits Charles was dropping through the film.
I knew this going in, but Chris didn't know this when we were watching, that there was an actual real-life murderer in the movie.
Yeah, he plays an X-ray technician because he is an X-ray technician, so he could actually manage the equipment, I guess.
Right place, right time.
Yeah.
Sure.
He carried out a string of murders against gay men in New York.
Yes, I believe he has 1, maybe 2 lines in the movie. His name is Paul Bateson. In 1977 and 1978, 6 male victims were mutilated and dismembered, their remains wrapped in black plastic bags and dumped in the Hudson.
And you'll never guess what happened after that. They weren't looked into as homicides. Surprise!
No.
Gay men were murdered in the 70s. Who gives a fuck?
They were referred to not as homicides, but something called cuppies, which is a circumstance undetermined pending police investigation.
Which...
Like, there are these bags of, like, cut-up dead bodies. Like, that's definitely not murder.
That's not murder.
But
let's just call it a cuppy.
Like, let's not forget about it, but let's not actively investigate it.
Yeah, so then what happened later on was this same guy, Bateson, killed someone else, was caught, confessed, while either during court proceedings or while in jail, bragged about killing the other men. They still never bothered to charge him or follow up on those cases.
He murdered film critic Addison Verrill in his own apartment after meeting him at a bar in the Village. They had sex, and then he crushed his skull with a metal skillet and then stabbed him in the heart.
So if you're listening to this either waiting for someone you're casually fucking to come over, or if you're on your way to someone's house to casually fuck them, hide the skillets. Just as a precaution. Just hide them.
But put out your collection of knives.
Fun fact, the very first time I ever invited a rando over from the internet for relations, shut up. I immediately after, like, yes, here's my address, closed my computer, had such a panic about it that I ran around my house and hid every knife.
This was, like, what, the other day?
How dare you? It was 2000 and... Where was I living at the time? It was 2004.
Oh my God, I was in high school.
I fucking hate you.
Aww.
I mean, so was I. I was in grade 9.
Wait, so it was on the internet, so that was before Grindr?
Yes, it was gaydar.com that I accessed with a dial-up modem.
I'm unfamiliar with that website.
Fuck off, you are unfamiliar.
I don't know what that is.
What?
Gaydar.com?
Yeah, it's called Gaydar.
Nope.
No?
Mm-mm. I think the first time that I ever heard of anything on the internet for gay sex stuff was Manhunt, which I've never used.
Yeah, that was the other one. What in my brain referred to as the other one.
You know, it's weird that there's like multiple Craigslist murders, but there's not like a Grindr murder. Why is that not a thing yet?
I don't know.
I'm not saying that it should be. Don't get any ideas, anyone.
There were definitely some Grindr bashings in Melbourne.
Yeah, those have happened. Or a Pokemon Go being used to rob people.
Sorry, what?
You didn't hear about that? When Pokemon Go first became a thing, people would use it and they would set the lures, and they would wait for people to
congregate there and then rob the houses nearby.
No, rob them.
Oh, rob them.
Yeah,
the people.
In the city, it might be a little bit harder because they're so close together and you're out and stuff. But if you're in like a more rural area, there's only a few, like spread out very far, people would drive to them and then they would get robbed.
That is fucking despicable, but also a little bit genius.
Yeah.
I respect the method. Anyway, I did warn you that we would get off topic and talk about gay stuff, and here we are. So,
gay stuff is part of the topic.
Before Grindr, there was Gaydar, and that's the service that I used.
But again, I'm disappointed that no one's been murdered on Grindr yet. That's a weird thing.
Disappointed? Is that the word you're going to stick with?
Yeah. Surprised.
Surprised.
I'll say surprised.
Not disappointed.
And disappointed.
Okay.
Listen, I never used Manhunt. I don't have Grindr or Scruff. I've never been on any of those things, so I don't know how they work. Is it like you hunt down people?
Yes.
But don't murder them.
But don't murder them.
Okay. So you're hunting people.
You really have no idea. Oh, because you're a bartender at a gay bar. You've never...
Yeah.
You don't have to
I don't really
put any effort in whatsoever.
No. Just smile.
God, I hate you so much.
Anyway, back on topic. So the real life murderer was in the movie, cast because he was very good. It's weird that that's part of the creepiest part.
Yes.
That there was an actual
And it
murderer.
genuinely is creepy. And I don't know why in subsequent cuts, why not take that scene out? In fact, why not take a bunch of scenes out? Because...
SAG.
Yeah, he had to get his insurance. Like, there was a lot of scenes that I guess were set in for colour or to fill in the lives of these people that were not really necessary.
Well, it was. I don't think that we watched the newer version, but there was director's cut.
But director's cut usually
where they added more.
They add more?
Yeah. There was a scene specifically it was mentioning that they cut out about someone walking down the stairs backwards. Like a spider. It's very like The Grudge, I suppose. That it was cut because it was too frightening or something.
I've seen that imagery. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, that was not in the one we watched.
Yeah.
But I have seen that bit before.
Yeah, so it got added back in later, I think. But
no, but there's a scene where the mother is on the phone trying to get a hold of Reagan's father and getting mad, but that never comes up again to what I
that was really weird.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that they leave out, I guess, from the book. The book was much more gory and descriptive.
Yeah. Oh, there was a scene where they argue over whether or not Karras needs to have ice with his whiskey.
Unnecessary.
What would you like to drink? A whiskey with water and ice. There isn't any ice. I'll get some from the kitchen. No, don't worry about it. Yes, it's fine. No, stay. Why?
What
would you like to drink? Whiskey. Done.
Yep.
Move on. Get to the bit of the story where the stuff happens.
Fun fact, Bateson, the murderer in The Exorcist, also partially inspired the movie Cruising, starring Al Pacino. Al Pacino was an undercover cop looking for someone who was killing gay people.
Huh.
So that's where that movie came from. Which then inspired James Franco to film Interior Gay Bar.
Really?
Yeah.
All that because of a real-life murderer.
Because of a murderer. Thank you. So we have this murderer from the 70s to blame for James Franco.
I'm not surprised that it's from somewhere that insidious.
And his gay baiting. Did you ever see Interior Gay Bar?
I did not.
It was based on a scene that was deleted from Cruising because Al Pacino wouldn't film it, I believe, because it was too explicit for the time.
Oh, is it Interior Gay Bar?
Interior period, like how you would see it in a script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't put the words colon and gay bar so close together. Interior period gay bar.
Or should you?
Or should I?
Oh, no, it's not Interior Gay Bar, it's Interior Leather Bar. I'm trying to see if Bateson, is he still in jail? Oh, yeah, he's still incarcerated.
Where?
I'm going to guess Rikers.
Where's that?
In New York.
That's too close. This is the second time this has happened to me. Do you know... Okay, another tangent. I was living in Canberra. I'd been in Canberra in Australia for a year when I found out that Ivan Milat, the backpacker murderer, was in jail like an hour away from where I lived. Mm-hmm. And now I find out that the man in The Exorcist...
Bateson.
...might be on... Where's Rikers?
Not too far from here.
I know so much about New York, you guys. Lived here for a good year.
He could be in Sing Sing, which is like a little bit farther away, but not terribly. Oh, that's fun. The Paul Batesman murders are also referred to as the fag in a bag murders.
Ah.
By newspapers.
I feel like there's only a small demographic of people who can say that name. We can.
Paul Bateson?
Paul Bateson probably
It's very hard to
shouldn't.
pronounce. It really doesn't say what prison he's in, though.
Look, I'll be fine.
This says, so the next time you don your leather chaps, as you do,
Sure.
and saddle up to the bar at the manhole, take a good look at the codger on the stool beside you. Maybe he murdered a variety film critic. It's insinuating, though, that he's out.
What?
But the other article says that he's incarcerated.
What are the dates in the articles?
This is from 2014.
Okay, this is not a podcast of you reading articles. All right. Now I want to talk about some of my favourite moments in this movie.
Okay.
Okay, one was a doctor, medical expert, just lighting up a ciggy in the corridor of the hospital.
Oh, that was so... I really liked that moment. That was really fun for me.
That was so bizarre. And actually, it almost fit in with like a horror movie because it was like, it's so unsettling to see.
Now, yeah, but back then that wouldn't have... Like, back then you could smoke on planes.
Yeah.
And in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, while you were watching it. I half expected him to be like, give her a pack of cigarettes. She's acting up because she's not smoking enough.
My other favourite moment is the way early in the film, several times they say the word psychiatrist with the same hushed reverence or the same suspicion which we would now say priest. Like it's a unorthodox last resort. Like we may have to call in a psychiatrist.
I mean, back then, like committing someone to a psychiatric ward was like almost like throwing them away back then, before all the mental health facilities or insane asylums, as they were previously referred to, got shut down by the government.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to send anyone, even regardless of how fucked up they were, I wouldn't want to send them to what we know now was just basically torture houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they're alluding to. But they're like, do you see that doctor over there? Psychiatrist. It's like you wouldn't want to tell anyone that.
They're my two favourite moments in the movie. Just the cigarette, and the psychiatrist. I'll tell you what I like the least. How fucking long it took Karis to get on board with that she was possessed.
It was like literally the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like he watched the drawer open on its own and was like...
Did you do that?
Yeah. Did you do that? And was like, it's only real possession if she speaks a language that... she's never seen or studied. And then...
Is it? Is that the only qualifier?
The only qualifier. Not that she has orange eyes.
Yeah.
And at one point, her head was on backwards.
Kids do that all the time.
All the time.
They're just asking for attention.
But then 5 minutes after he says another language, she then speaks both Latin and then what the closed captioning on our TV said, tongues. So I count that as two different languages. And she spoke in English in reverse.
That was really interesting.
That was a spooky moment of the film. I'll give you that. That was genuinely unnerving when he played the tape backwards. And I
like that the other guy in it was just like, do you know what language this is? And he was like, she's talking backwards, duh. Like, how did you not get that?
And then he plays the tape backwards and hears that it's English but backwards.
Not just backwards, perfect. Like, obviously they used audio recording, but
sure.
Like, if she was speaking that, she was speaking it perfectly backwards.
And he's sort of like, meh, still not fully convinced. And he throws what he calls holy water on her, and she's like, it burns, and then says later, but it was just tap water, so I'm not convinced. And then later sees on her belly, on her bare stomach, in scar, he sees the words, help me, and the next scene is still like, I think it's time we do an exorcism. And the head priest guy, what are they called? I don't know.
President Priest.
The COO of Priest.
Yeah.
Is like...
King Priest.
King Priest.
A cardinal?
Yeah.
Definitely not Pope.
No. Below Pope. Like it's priest.
Above priest, below Pope. I was not raised Catholic.
Neither was I.
Maybe that's another reason this movie's not scary. If we were Catholic, this could be more terrifying.
Maybe there's a bunch of things that we just miss entirely.
I went to Christian school, but I don't understand any of that.
I was raised uniting church. There's one commandment. It's just don't be a dick. Like,
oh, Unitarian.
Is that what it's called here? It's the most. It's nice the most lax church. It's the reason I was christened that church, because Mum was like, "What's the least amount of church there can be?" Anyway, we're off track. So I want a uniting church version of The Exorcist. It's just someone being a jerk. Just someone double parking.
Like, hey,
cut it out. End of movie.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's talking to King Priest, between priest and pope, and
Archbishop?
that's way high.
Is it?
I think it's much higher.
Higher than Pope?
No.
No.
Pope is
high.
the highest.
Pope, God.
Yeah,
God
because
is the
Pope
highest.
God.
Pope God.
So coming downwards, it goes God, Pope, something, bishops, cardinals,
Yeah.
something,
hats.
something, priest, altar boy. No, they're not second in command. They're just...
I don't think they have any command at all.
They're not-
They're just there for the molesting.
Yeah. Oh, actually, fun fact, Australia's highest ranking Catholic. He's a cardinal.
Do you rank? Oh, I guess they were ranked. Yeah.
Like, he's got to the top Catholic in Australia. Has to stand trial for 3 historic counts of sexual assault.
Yay!
So, yeah. What Charles just said might sound slanderous, but factual basis.
Even before that, like
Countless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to all the, I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Nope.
So, yes, he goes to the boss priest, and boss priest says, is it a legitimate exorcism possession situation? And he's like, nah. Even though he's seen help me written on the girl's flesh.
And like burning, bubbling sores.
Yeah. Still like, nah.
Yeah, she's fine. Give her a cigarette.
All she needs is a cigarette. Which probably then explains why, during the actual exorcism, he is such a wuss.
I guess that the demon, he's physically attacking Marin, like with the vomit and the like spit and whatever.
Yeah.
But then he's psychologically torturing Karis.
Yeah, by taking on his mum's form
all
and
of
her
that.
voice.
So I guess
and-
that's a little bit more upsetting. I'm not sure which one I prefer, but I can get maybe like once or twice just being caught off guard. But like, hold your shit down, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're here to do... I might be your first one.
His
Listen it.
faffing about and being all weak is what led to the old priest's death.
And while they're exercising her, I was like, how is this just not church-sanctioned witchcraft?
Yeah.
And I thought we were anti-witch at the church.
Yeah.
This is just dudes being witches.
Yeah.
Instead of women. Like, what they were reading from was not a regular Bible. It was like a special Bible.
an
That had
old-
like
yeah.
exorcism shit
Yeah.
in it. Spell book.
Yeah, spell.
That's all it is.
Look, this is a
Sabrina could get all that done in a half hour. Sorry. I'm sorry for that. I'm not sorry.
You're not sorry.
No.
You're not sorry for bringing Melissa Joan Hart into this safe place. Okay, so yes, this is a theological discussion for which I don't have nearly the experience or brain power, but I have often thought that we're like, voodoo, what a weird, primitive, savage practice that was, while we have exorcisms.
Yeah, like those are a real thing. I mean, they don't have to happen often, but they have happened on record before. I'm not sure. Was this actually... I don't think that this was based on a true story.
It's based on a novel.
It's based on a novel, yes, but that could also be based on a true story. But the exorcism of like Emily Rose is reportedly based on a true story, which I don't believe.
Write that down for future episodes.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose?
Yes.
How many exorcism movies are we going to do?
Like, not a bunch in a row. Our next episode will be a different type of horror film.
The Exorcist 3, which is about murders.
How...
I don't understand how it's about murders.
Okay.
I only read the description, so Exorcist movie, true story? Question mark? Google? God, we're doing a lot of Googling. Exorcist. Oh, it is. William Peter Blattley's novel, The Exorcist, 1971, later adapted into film in 1973, sparked an intense curiosity about demonic possession. Blah, 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 blah. To find out, you have to go back to the 1940s and the first exorcism ever performed in the United States. Ronnie Doe, a.k.a. Ronald Hunkler. At the age of 14, Ronald was introduced to the Ouija board by his Aunt Tilly. This is where we went wrong, Aunt Tilly. Like, you're supposed to be just a fun, drunk aunt. You're just throwing around Ouija boards willy-nilly.
That's why I don't mess with Ouija boards.
Willy-nilly, Aunt Tilly.
Oh my god.
Sorry. Although a direct correlation between Ronald's possession and the Ouija board is never made, it was believed that the ghost of Aunt Tilly was one of the first spirits to visit Ronald. So she gave him the Ouija board and then died. And was like, I still want to talk to you sometimes. Like, oh my god, text me after I die.
Yeah.
It wasn't long before this friendly spirit turned sinister. The family first noticed angry voices and the sound of furniture moving across the room. Not long afterwards, they began seeing claw marks on Ronald's body. That year, the family traveled to St. Louis, believing that getting away from their home might end their troubles. That never worked. You can't run away from a ghost.
You can't run away from your troubles.
You can't run away from a possession. You can run away from a ghost if they're just stuck in that house.
Unless they're poltergeists.
Can they chase you?
Yeah, they're attached to a person, not a place.
So then kind of like a demon, like an exorcism.
Yeah.
So a ghost is attached to a place, and a poltergeist is attached to a person?
Yes. From my vast knowledge
Of ghosts.
of ghost stuff. as a prominent ghostologist.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it is based, I guess, kind of based on a true story. 24 years after Ronald's ordeal, William Peter Blatty penned his novel The Exorcist. Although heavily influenced by the actual events, Blatty did make a few changes to divert attention away from Ronald, changing the subject of the exorcism to a 12-year-old girl and setting it in Washington, D.C. neighborhood of Georgetown. I kind of remember someone, like, calling him after this movie came out as an adult, and he was just like, please don't ever call this number again, and hung up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now it's all coming back to me. I think I read about this. So, vaguely based on a true story?
Yeah. It said that the novel was, he was inspired by that story. He heard about that story while at Georgetown University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did I miss that part?
Because I opened up a different Wikipedia page.
Wow. You trying to one-up me already?
Yes.
Ugh. But I like having all the information. You took all the notes.
I will say that the very, very end when Karras is like, no, get in me instead. Come into me, which I did not giggle at when he said come into me several times. I did not once giggle, which I believe is a sign of personal growth.
I just expected, like, Kylie Minogue to kick in. Like, come.
How dare the first Kylie Minogue reference in this podcast be made by you? I'm so offended.
Listen, it took you too long. Britney Spears, there.
Okay, phew. But when that was happening, I was sitting there going, well, that's not going to bloody work, mate. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's not going to... Oh, no, it worked. It fully worked.
Yeah.
And then he threw himself out the window and died.
Yeah.
Was that a twist? I didn't see it coming.
Really?
No.
I kind of, like... I don't think I expected him to sacrifice himself that way, but I was like, you're not going to make it through this. I knew he was going to die.
Oh, I didn't. I think I've watched too much Supernatural. I was expecting them to just shout louder and louder and louder and eventually, like, a bunch of black smoke to come out of her mouth and then she'd be cured.
Well, I guess we're going to have to watch the sequel to see what happens in the next one.
Really? Are we?
I mean, Linda Blair's in it, so, like, the story's continued.
Yeah, Anthony Perkins is in Psycho 3. That doesn't make it great.
No, but isn't that the one that he directed? That's why it's not great.
Nothing after Psycho is great.
No,
so
it's not.
I'm not necessarily here for sequels. I do love sequels.
I'm here for sequels. It depends on the franchise.
Not sequels of iconic classic films though.
Halloween 2 is very good. The original one, the John Carpenter one.
Oh.
The one with Jamie Lee Curtis is still in it.
Oh, let me make a confession here in this podcast about horror films. I have not seen one single Halloween.
Hold on, let me get a skillet.
Oh no, don't get a skillet. I've hidden them all already. I knew you were coming over.
As if I were... We haven't even had sex yet, so I can't kill you until that happens.
All right, I will live forever.
Wow, rude.
No, I'm just saying I have an insurance policy now.
You're really cutting the sexual tension between us, Chris.
Sorry.
You're ruining everything.
Sorry. I could be skilleted at any moment.
That sounds dirty.
So yes, not one single Halloween, only 2 Friday the 13th.
Okay, confession. I've only seen 2 Friday the 13th, if we're not counting the Michael Bay remake, which was awful.
I 100% watched that as well. I didn't even count it.
Oh yeah, we don't count it.
Because it was woeful.
Okay.
I love Jared Padalecki.
Is he in that? He is in that.
Yeah. My favorite giant tree man is in it.
Anyway, so of modern horror movies, Scream is my favorite. But if we're talking classics, if we're talking Freddy, Jason, Michael, like that era of when slasher movies really became big in the 70s and 80s, Halloween are the best. Like, you haven't seen the original Halloween?
Nope.
Chris, we already have to watch like 12 Resident Evil movies.
I know. Oh, but most of them I've seen.
I've seen most of those. I didn't see the end one, or the last 2 maybe. I literally will sit down and watch all the Halloweens, minus Halloween 3, in a row. And I've done it multiple times.
Wow.
Including the Rob Zombie remakes, which the first Rob Zombie remake is fine, and the second one is just garbage. And they're bringing that back, so you need to catch up on that shit.
Okay, I've heard about this trailer that's come out for the Jamie Lee Curtis.
There's a trailer?
One. It was at some kind of festival con thing.
Okay, yeah.
But apparently it is spectacular. I cannot wait to see it. I do love Jamie Lee Curtis so much.
I think it was a fan-made one, but I think I saw a poster that looks really interesting.
Yeah.
You've never seen the original one?
No, I did see the Rob Zombie remake and I hated it.
Why?
I think for the same reason I was not that jazzed with The Exorcist. Rob Zombie is a very good filmmaker.
He is.
The visuals are stunning.
Yeah.
But everything takes so long to happen. I have not got all day.
Yes, the Halloween remake was very long.
And also, is it the first Halloween remake that delved further back into Mike Myers as a kid?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care about this. I don't know if it's either trying to humanize him and failing, or it's just like...
It wasn't trying to humanize him. It was trying to... Because in the original Halloweens, you're introduced to Michael as a child, and you... Maybe this should happen off mic, but... Like, we're talking about a completely different movie.
Okay, let's bring this to a close now so that we can talk about this when we watch Halloween.
Okay, fine.
Again...
I'm so mad at you, though.
Again, we did warn you all that we would get off topic. I didn't expect us to get off topic into other horror films, eating into our own content for future episodes, but whatever.
I'm so mad that you haven't seen any of them.
Here's why I haven't seen these classic horror films, right? I was, and still am, I'm a pathological goody two-shoes. And all those movies when I was growing up were not allowed. They were rated M for 15 and over. I was not over 15, therefore I did not watch them. The first horror movie I watched was Scream.
The first horror movie you watched was Scream?
Yeah, when I was 15. The first movie I saw that I thought was a horror movie was Teen Wolf, because I watched it when I was very young and it scared the pants off me.
Okay.
And I was 26 before I realized that it actually was a comedy. And I don't want to talk any more about that. But the first horror movie I watched...
Hold my hand.
Yeah.
We can make it through this.
Thank you.
Okay.
The first horror movie I actually watched was Scream. But from that point, the floodgates opened. It was on for young and old. But I just never got around to the old ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, my first horror movie was like when I was like 5 or 6. I used to wake up before my mom would get up on Saturday mornings and put in Pet Sematary. Have you seen that?
No.
You haven't seen Pet Sematary?
No.
So then why are you gasping?
Because it sounds horrible.
It's not a delightful horror movie.
No.
It's very scary. It's scary, especially as a 6-year-old, but also like disturbing. Like just the whole movie from beginning to end is not like there are scares and jump scares, but it's just disturbing from beginning to end.
Yeah, I don't want to watch. No, I don't want to watch that. See, here's the thing. It's a wonder that I love horror movies the way I do now at all, because terrified by Teen Wolf.
Yep.
But when I was like 4 years old, I remember watching the Thriller video. The last 5 seconds of that, where it's a freeze frame of his eyes and they're yellow and there's just that laughing, gave me nightmares for a good 4 nights straight.
Christopher.
When I was a child, I was terrified of
what is wrong with
everything. Everyone and everything.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And now, here I am today, as a fully grown adult. I play the Friday the 13th video game every night and have done since December 20 last year.
To calm down.
To calm my nerves,
relax
I play the Friday the 13th game. It soothes my nerves.
Okay, so it's... I can't.
What's wrong?
It's just so surprising that Teen Wolf scared you.
Terrified me. Because of Teen Wolf, I had to get to bed at night, take a giant sprint down my hallway, and the minute I hit carpet at my bedroom door, leap into the air and land on my bed. If I touched the carpet anywhere in my room at all, the werewolf that was definitely under my bed would reach out and grab me.
You don't want Michael J. Fox to come into your bed at night? 80s Michael J. Fox?
In hindsight, that would have been great.
Not as a child.
No, not as
a child.
Not as a child, and not as a fucking werewolf.
Back to Catholicism, wow. I think... the reason that I've never watched The Exorcist before today is because I didn't want to be disappointed, and I was, because it's so hyped as like one of the huge, massive ones. But also when it comes to horror movies, what I really like are slashers. I like whodunits.
Yes,
I like that kind of horror movie, like where there's a killer. I do like haunted house movies. I fucking
love a haunted house movie.
I do, but it's not my preference.
Sure.
So if I like. I'm not sure if you would qualify Final Destination as like a haunted house or a slasher movie, but something like that I would prefer, like as opposed to like a demon. Yes. I don't find, like was telling you the other day, I don't find sharks scary, so that's why I don't think Jaws is a scary movie. I watch Jaws. It's not like I watch it and it's a good film, but I'm not scared by it.
I love shark
literally
movies.
At all. But they don't scare me. I think the closest I ever got was the trailer for that Blake Lively movie that I still have to see.
Oh, and then another movie we have to see is it Dark Water or Deep Water? I think it's Dark Water. That's a good shark movie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Wait, Deep Water.
Deep Water?
I think you're talking about Deep Water. I don't know shark movies.
The one that was based on a true story that happened off the coast of Australia.
Right.
Yeah, 2 scuba divers.
Mm-hmm. And then don't you want to watch that Mandy Moore shark movie, like 47 meters down or something?
100%. I want to watch all the shark movies. I rewatched Deep Blue Sea the other day, like not more than 2 weeks ago.
That's what you were talking to me about. That's what you were texting me about the other day, Deep Blue Sea.
Even that movie scares me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so next week, should we go see Truth or Dare?
We should go see Truth or Dare.
Or should we talk about A Quiet Place, since we already saw it?
Let's talk about A Quiet Place.
You're too loud.
I didn't intentionally do that. It just happened on its own.
Okay.
Next week, we're going to talk about A Quiet Place.
And then after that, I think we're going to start putting out polls on Twitter to see what we should watch.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a certain amount of time to answer. But yeah, I opened the show, so
I'm going to close it. Look, I'm going to before we go, I'm going to say that before anyone gets mad at us, which may be too late, The Exorcist is an excellent film. So well made, such a good story. Ellen Burstyn is phenomenal. Linda Blair is exceptional.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed her a lot.
I just wasn't scared a lot.
Yeah. Again, visually stunning, not super scary. But I'm just desensitized.
Yeah, we are old people.
Sorry, you are old people.
Fuck you.
I am 19.
That is a lie. That is an outright lie.
Turn off the podcast now.
This has been Dirty Little Horror. I am Christopher.
See how it doesn't work?
It doesn't work. You do it.
Dirty Little Horror.
See, it sounds like he's saying whore.
Oh, explain the joke.
I explained the joke.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you for that.
If you would like to, I guess, follow us, why would you want to after this? But I am on Twitter.
Oh, this was a mess.
It was such a mess. I'm going to do my best with the editing, I swear. You can find me on Twitter on Chrisopotamia, which, fuck. It's like Mesopotamia, like the place, but instead of mess, just write Chris.
Chris Top Mania.
It's not what it is. Don't confuse people. Or you can find my website, which is ChristopherDoesn'tLiveHereAnymore.com. Charles?
I'm at Charles Rockhill on everything because I'm consistent.
Yeah, all right. Smartass.
On the Twitters, on the Instagrams, on the Facebooks.
I'm also all those places. Each one is a different name. Sorry about it. See you next time. Bye.